Hi everyone, it's Jeff here from Avada. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at website privacy and consent in Avada. By the end of this series of videos, you'll understand the privacy and consent tools that Avada offer and how you can use them to ensure that your users understand the privacy implications of using your website, and that if required, you are also compliant with regulatory frameworks such as the GDPR and the CCPA. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay up to date with all new Avada videos. Alright, let's jump in. To start, let me just explain what a regulatory framework such as the GDPR is. GDPR stands for the General Data Protection Regulation, which came into force in the European Union back in 2018. In short, it is a binding privacy framework for businesses in the EU, or indeed for anyone that has customers in the EU. To read more about the GDPR, please refer to our documentation linked below. Other jurisdictions may have their own regulations, such as the CCPA in California, so please research your legal obligations based on your location. Avada itself does not need to be GDPR compliant, as the theme does not collect any data, but we have added a range of privacy and consent tools to Avada to assist users to ensure their websites are compliant if needed. So let's take a look at Avada's privacy and consent tools. I have imported the investment Prebuilt site here, and I will imagine they need to up their game with regard to privacy and consent. Your own privacy requirements will depend both on where you are based, where your customers are based, and what type of third-party services you employ on your website. Please see a lawyer if you are unsure of your privacy requirements. Okay, so firstly, there are a range of global options in Avada, found under the Privacy and Consent tab, which can help you to more easily comply with data privacy regulations like the European GDPR. The options set here then feed into the Privacy and Consent bar and the Privacy and Consent element. To start, there's an important note at the top which explains about the cookie Avada creates if you use the Privacy Consent option. By default, there are only 3 options here, with both the Privacy Consent tools and the Privacy and Consent bar disabled by default. The first option is Google and Font Awesome Fonts mode, which allows you to decide whether or not to load the Google and Font Awesome fonts onto your server. If you choose local, the fonts will be downloaded to your server, thereby satisfying GDPR criteria. But alternatively, you can set the option to CDN to use the Google and Font Awesome CDNs to load your fonts. The next option is Privacy Consent Tools. As the description explains, you can turn this on to prevent scripts and embeds from loading until user consent is given. If you only have necessary cookies loading and don't have any third-party embeds, you could just let users know that in the privacy bar and leave this option disabled. But if I enable this, a whole range of other options now load below. These options are used to fill both privacy and consent bar settings and the privacy and consent element. Let's go through them first and then we can see where they are used. The first of these options is Privacy Consent Cookie Expiration, and with this you can set the expiration time in days for the consent cookie. By default it's set to 30, but you can increase this all the way to 366 days in case of a leap year. For this example, I'm going to set it to that. In the option below, the Privacy Consent Types, you can choose the type of embeds for which you would like to require consent. There are 13 in all, including a range of Google services. As the description also notes, custom code snippets with a privacy category are automatically included and do not need to be selected here. For this example, I will just delete a few of these. Below this, in the Privacy Selected Consent Types, you can select the types of embeds which you would like to have selected by default when using both the Privacy and Consent bar and the Privacy and Consent element. I'll select all the consent types I have selected in the option above. Then there is a section for the third-party embeds, starting off with a third-party embed description option. There is a default description, but you can of course customize this however you like. The next 2 options control the background and text colors of the privacy placeholders. These, as we will see in a bit, are used when the third-party embeds are not accepted by default. I might just brighten these up a bit with color 5 for the background color and color 1 for the text. Under this is the Google Consent Mode version 2 section. This displays a label and description field for all of the Google Analytics and ad options you have chosen above. Default labels and descriptions have been added, but again, you can customize these as you wish. This brings us to the last section of the privacy consent tools, the consent categories. The first option is a repeater row that allows you to add a custom title and description for any of the consent categories, including custom content, necessary cookies, functional cookies, third-party embeds, statistics cookies, analytics, and marketing cookies, advertising and targeting. As the description notes, these define the consent categories displayed in the privacy and consent bar and the privacy and consent element, and that each entry sets the category type, title, and description shown to visitors when the group layout is used. I'll just add my content here and come back. The next option is Group Master Toggle. This displays a master checkbox next to each group title to enable or disable all items in the group at once. The necessary group is excluded. If you wanted this on the privacy and consent bar, you'd need to set this to yes here, but when using the privacy and consent element, you can turn it on or off in that. I'll leave it off here. The next option is List WordPress Necessary Cookies. Again, as the description notes, this will only be displayed if a consent category with the necessary cookies type is present in the consent categories above. If this option is set to yes, another option to control the necessary cookies opacity is displayed to visually indicate that they cannot be toggled off. Then there is an option to show cookie lifespan, which shows the number of days you have set above for the cookies, and a show cookie description to display the cookie description below each consent item in the consent category content. I will turn both of these on. And then penultimately there is the cookie description toggle option, which adds a toggle button next to each consent item to expand and collapse its description. I might leave this off here, and if I need it with the element, I can override it there. Okay, let's save our global options. So at this point there is only one option left, the privacy and consent bar. We will look at that in the next video, but for now let's see where these current options are used. As I mentioned before, they are used to populate both the privacy and consent bar settings content and the privacy and consent element. As we don't have the privacy and consent bar turned on yet, let's look quickly at an example of the privacy and consent element. For more details on this, please see the How to Use the Avada Privacy and Consent Element video and the How to Use the Avada Privacy and Consent Element in an Off-Canvas video, both linked below. But for this video, let's look at the privacy policy page on this site, which the privacy and consent element has been added to. Here, users can choose which cookies they will accept by default and can update their settings. Here we can see the group cookie categories with their titles, category descriptions, cookie name, cookie expiration, and description. As you can see here, they are all selected by default as per my global option choice. So here, if I now deselect YouTube, all the other embeds will be allowed by default, as will Google statistics and marketing cookies, but YouTube videos won't. I will just choose Update, and it lets me know that my cookie preferences have been updated. So now let's have a look at that on the front end. If I go to a page that has a YouTube video embedded on it, we can see the video has not been loaded. Instead, we need to give our permission for this to load, which will then be stored in a cookie for the time specified in the options. Now, as I have just saved my settings, the cookie will be valid for a year, and the privacy bar won't show. So to get it to return, I would just need to go to Chrome DevTools here by right-clicking and selecting Inspect, and on the Application tab, I would clear the site data, which will clear my cookie on this browser, and then I'd just have to log back in. Okay, so in the next privacy video, we will look at the very last option on the Privacy and Consent tab of the global options, and how this can be used to configure a privacy and consent bar at the bottom of your website. Just before we finish up though, with regards to privacy and consent in Avada, there are a couple of other areas worth looking at. The first one is adding a privacy consent checkbox to your website's forms. If you are using Avada Forms, all you would need to do is add the consent field element into the form and add your consent text to the label. There's also a legacy method if you're using the contact page template. This is found under the Contact Template tab of the global options with an option called Display Data Privacy Confirmation Box. If this is enabled, a further option appears where you can customize the message. As mentioned, this only applies to pages using the contact page template, and it's a much more flexible option to use Avada Forms. One final privacy tool is found in the User Register element, which you might use if you have people registering on your site. If I just add the User Register element to this page, You can see the registration notice field down towards the bottom of the options here. This allows you to show custom text before the Submit button, for example to inform a new user about GDPR compliance. Make sure to watch the other privacy videos about using the privacy and consent bar, the privacy and consent element on pages, and using the privacy and consent element with an Avada off canvas to see the full extent of how this system can be implemented. And that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Avada tutorials and deep dives. And if you have any questions or need help, feel free to create a support ticket. Our team is always ready to help. As always, thank you for choosing Avada.